Alright, so I recently played through Snipperclips, and I've actually been looking forward to getting back to this game because I think it was a demo on the eShop. I don't remember for sure, but it could have been someone else's copy or something, but I played it before years ago, but then I just didn't obtain it or, get to it in my backlog until now. But I saw a lot of potential with the idea, particularly with, precision, cutting things out with your different characters and trying to position yourselves and plan out certain shapes in that so you can get it to be as accurate as possible. I thought it was sort of a unique, interesting idea. And that's probably because I remember two specific sections from what I've played before, and they both revolve around that, and they're the most recurring levels in the game. There's one, they have specific names, I don't remember what they were, but there was one where you have to fill out an outline with the two characters, and you can't go over or anything. And then there's another where there's a bigger area which has marked areas that have to be cut out within it. And I think there was 5 worlds in general. I think each one, I don't remember exactly, but I think you start off with 8 levels. You need to beat 5 of them to get the ninth level. And if you beat that specific ninth level, you get an extra 5 levels, with there being one more bonus level based off of that ninth level. And each world had at least one of these levels each in both the regular set and the unlockable set, as opposed to other levels which seemed like they were more exclusive to their world. They may have had a second iteration, particularly in the unlockable levels later, but still, when I go into the game sort of expecting more, that's like, 10 levels total in the game of these two types? I was probably expecting more, probably around the same level count in total, but to even say just at least 50 levels between these two types, and obviously came out a bit short. Not that the other levels were particularly bad or anything. They're more physics puzzle based, and there was some creativity behind them, which was fun to see throughout, but I just found the other levels much more fun. You even got little animations for them if you cleared them, if you press, I think, A or B or something, which was kind of cool. There was some leeway with them, too. You didn't need to be perfect. I almost wish it went more the route of getting, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star completion, so I don't know, maybe there would have been even more leeway for some of the tougher levels. Not that I think it really needed it, but to encourage more mastery to get 3 stars and be just about perfect with it, in the middle being the basic objective that we actually had. There were some other levels that required precision cutting. Like, I remember one in particular where you had to reach the end of 3 different holes, so you sort of had to cut out 3 different tips so you can reach each of them. But I don't know, even with that, I don't feel like that kind of level really came out as good as, like I said, those two standard types. I remember, too, at like the very end of the game, they introduced purple lava that would disintegrate your character, and I thought that was pretty interesting, too. But like I said, it only came in right at the end, so you barely see it. But I think they could have done some interesting things with that, with either, new levels or putting it in pre-existing levels or something. Granted, I did know there was other, stuff in this game, but I thought, when I saw, the basketball stuff, I thought that was just a separate multiplayer mode, not its own little puzzle thing. Another thing I will say that was kind of cool was that when you beat the game, I think that's when I unlocked it, but you can play through the levels again, defaulting at, I think, randomized shapes, but I think that general concept is pretty unique and would offer some replayability for people who really enjoyed the game. I don't know. With the other puzzles, I felt like so many of them came down to you making a sickle shape out of one or both of the characters and solving it with that. I don't know if that was intended or maybe I'm not super creative or what, but I don't know how I feel about that. Another thing, too, is that there is sort of health, like if you cut your character down too far, they'll disappear. I kind of wish there was more of an indicator so I knew a little more how much to push it. I mean, I guess you can say that, your character's presence should be enough of a health bar, but I don't know. Some indication whether your character would, flash a little or maybe a health bar. Or, I don't know, maybe there's an animation I didn't even notice to know, hey, you're really pushing it, but maybe that's more of a me issue that I just sort of wish I noticed before taking that risk, and it not working out. Sometimes you do get like a little stuck or you just sort of move around weird with, where you're at with the different objects you're working with. It was never really a major issue, though. I was able to get out of it pretty much in every case. Although I don't think there was like a reset button or anything, but maybe you can find a way to just completely, like I said earlier, snip through your other characters so they respawn. A couple interesting tools, too, that I kind of found through playing is one, reforming your character in certain situations that you may not really think to reform during. That can kind of help and make things a little interesting, too. And the other thing is by accident, I was rotating and then I switched the character because I was playing on single player mode, but when I switched, the other character kept rotating, so I wasn't good at using that efficiently, but is noteworthy. Like I said, I was playing one player. This is more of a multiplayer game. I think it would be more fun with other people, but it's definitely doable single player. Admittedly, there may have been one or two levels on each world that felt a little more challenging, trying to manage two characters that, didn't feel as doable, but you should at least be able to progress through the game. You can skip enough levels to where that's not an issue. I don't know if this was just me either, but I have the physical edition, and I felt like it took a interestingly long time to load initially for the first time. And even in general, I felt like the game loaded slower than I would have expected for, a smaller title. There's certainly worse out there. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not giving the game enough credit for what it's, trying to load up or whatever. But, I mean, yeah, what do I know? If there ever is a sequel at some point for whatever reason, I would definitely next time check to see that they focused more on the precision cutting like I was sort of wanting to. If they don't, then I don't know, I'll probably skip it. But yeah, that's pretty much about it.